long ago, back before our time, way before there were turtles, the world was ruled by dinosaurs. They were big, they were awesome, and they really knew how to party.
Oh, it's going to be one of those movies. Hey everyone, SHINOBI-03 is here, and yeah, I guess it's time to talk about this one. In case you forgot, back in the Jurassic Park response video, I made a promise to review Adventures in Dinosaur City if someone said they liked it. Now, I could have sworn I did get a comment about it, but either I'm not looking carefully or it was gone and I can't show it to you, but I'll pretend I did receive the comment and, well, here we are. Adventures in Dinosaur City. Regarded as one of the worst dinosaur movies ever made. Why did I pick this one in particular? No reason. I was just looking for a bad movie to use for that one line, and I went for this one, seeing it popping out in multiple worst dinosaur movies lists. Plus, it looked PG enough for the channel just in case I do end up reviewing it here. So what are we in for here? Adventures in Dinosaur City, also known as Dinosaurs the Movie in Europe, was a TV movie from 1991. A time when anthropomorphic dinosaurs was trying to be a thing for some reason. Some say the reason for the title change in Europe was to discuss the movie as a tie into the TV sitcom, but I'm pretty sure European fans were not that stupid. It was directed by Brett Thompson. No, not the rugby player. I don't know what he looks like because IMDb doesn't have his picture, nor is there a wiki page for him. He directed 3 movies, Nazis Casanova from 1988, and The Haunted World of Edward D. Wood Jr. from 1995. That's all in his directorial resume in addition to Dinosaur City. The producer is the Italian producer Luigi Cingolani. Resume includes Cameron's Closet, Playroom, and Sleep Stalker. The production studio was Smart Egg Pictures, which is known for producing the Nightmare on Elm Street movies and Critters, and a bunch of others including Space Invaders, Bloody New Year, and Evil Ed. The distribution was done by Republic Pictures Home Videos, and that's where the movie remains. This movie was only released on TV and VHS. It has not been re-released on DVD or any official digital format. What DVDs available on Amazon or eBay are Region 2 PAL bootleg releases of VHS rips. The only way to really watch it is by going to YouTube, where you can find multiple uploads of the movie. Just the fact that there are multiple uploads of this movie in its entirety for years shows how much the people behind it don't care about it anymore. While we have big studios claiming or blocking fair use videos over using 1 second from their movies, this movie is still where it has been since 2010. So this movie is so bad even the studios are embarrassed to say they own it? That's harsh! There is one last thing to mention. If you're going to watch the movie, for some reason, go with the one with the longer runtime. According to IMDb, the North American version of the movie removed 6 scenes from it for some reason. And I'm glad I got this note earlier, because when I started making this review, I was watching the shorter American version before I switched to the complete version. Otherwise, I'll probably get endless comments about this subject. The story is about a trio of teenagers. Timmy, played by Omri Katz, best known as John Ross Ewing III from Dallas, and Max Dennison from Hocus Pocus. Mick, played by Sean Hoffman, who doesn't have a Wikipedia page, meaning he's not important. And Jamie, played by Tiffany Poston, who also doesn't have a Wikipedia page, but according to IMDb, she was a waitress in an episode of Tales from the Crypt, so that's something. They're friends, but you got to wonder how Timmy is one of them, seeing that he looks younger than Jamie and Mick, to the point you'd think he's the little brother of either of the two, and comes across like a third wheel. They are fans of a dinosaur TV cartoon show called Dinosaurs, which, judging by this footage, is a Hanna-Barbera knockoff.
Yeah, kids, back in the day, we actually went to visit each other and watch cartoons together. Not like you today with the streaming thing where everyone stays home instead of actual social interactions.
Timmy's parents happen to be scientists who just happen to work on a plot device, I mean a machine that opens the path to other dimensions. Because of course. And Timmy, being the smart kid that he is, decided to watch the tape that he just saw, but on a bigger screen. But since he's an idiot who broke his parents' rules, he and his friends went Digimon and sucked to the alternate dimension, where the cartoon they just watched becomes reality, and they get tossed into it Uncle Phil style. The first look at this new live-action dimension should be an indication of the quality we're about to see, as you can clearly see the ceiling of the studio in this shot. Oh, and by the way, this is how we're introduced to the first dinosaur character. "9 seconds, if you were counting."
Hey, what in the hot lava's going on here?
It's
No way.
yes, wait. It's 4 and we're dinosaurs. Except it's like 3D now.
I thought you needed special glasses or something for 3D.
Well, the kids are smart enough to recognize live-action cartoon characters when they see it, which is more than what some companies could do. Anyway, they soon discovered they're in their favorite show and recognize the place is under the tyrannical rule of Mr. Big, voiced by Patrick Labyorteaux. In case you're not sure he is the villain, he shows how evil he is by rewarding his minions with cigars. Because when the entire place is surrounded by weed, you need to bribe them with something else.
Thank you. I hope you enjoy it. That's right.
These are the species that's going to take over the world.
Give it to him, Small.
Ah, simple names created by the simple minds. Mr. Big is the villain of this show who took over Star City with the help of his cavemen, or Rockies as they're called, and it's up to the kids and the dinosaur freedom fighters, the Source, to claim it back before this facility explodes by retrieving the stolen fuse. So they don't have a spare fuse to use? What happens if it dies out? Do they give up and accept their doom? The titular Source are Fori the Flightless Dimorphodon, voiced by Bob Sherwood, Rex the Tyrannosaurus, voiced by Mr. Big's voice actor Patrick Labyorteaux, so that's not confusing at all, and Tops the Protoceratops, voiced by David Jolliffe. This movie also got its own version of Team Rocket. There's this caveman named Link, and the joke is too obvious so I'm not going to use it, and his partner Missy, which is another obvious joke I'm not going to use, played by Pete Koch and Megan Hughes respectively, who nonchalantly stayed to cause a meltdown in this place after kidnapping a mother and her child, and it's up to our fine heroes to stop it within 24 hours.
Wait, if you take that, the cooling units on the lava tanks won't work, and we'll be looking at a complete meltdown of Source City in less than 24 hours.
Ain't you an Einstein?
That's the idea, Bird Brain. Mr. Big's been shutting this city down for a while. It's about time somebody finished it once and for all.
Knowing they're in the middle of a war, Timmy is naturally afraid and wants to get out of this place as soon as possible. Nah, I'm kidding. He's happy to be in this place.
Timmy, this is all your fault.
You crazy? After all I've done for you? You should be thanking me. Get a life, Mick.
They're such good friends.
Think about it. It's a cartoon, right? We know everything about this place.
If you thought this couldn't get any worse, imagine Timmy as a modern-day Trekkie or Star Wars fan, and you'll have yourself a walking nightmare.
Get a life, will you, people?
Hey, Fori. Mr. Fori. Do you think maybe I could have your autograph before we leave? You're kind of my hero.
Right. I'm probably gonna die under molten lava in 24 hours, and I have to spend my day with a bunch of crazy apes. Why me?
And this is the point Fori has become someone's spirit animal. Timmy then finds a horrible secret.
Time out. Graveyard? Wait, let me think. No, I don't remember there ever being a graveyard in the cartoon.
I wonder why this was never in the cartoon.
This place wasn't in the cartoon. Did this movie retcon it? Ron Johnson won my canon. I'm going to boycott dinosaurs too. Hey, wait a minute. That Triceratops shouldn't have hoseless frills. Did this movie retcon it? Can they respect real dinosaurs and represent them correctly?
Lost. We're lost. We're definitely lost.
Also, in case you haven't noticed by this point, Mix likes to complain. A lot.
You little hornhead. Wow. Gripping. Can't wait for the sequel.
I feel nauseous. Timmy, this is all your fault. To do what? Get my intestines wrapped around a tree by some Neanderthal? No, I think not.
Scary. I'm scared.
What are you staring at?
Wow, it looks like something is going to... Oh, never mind. Next scene. They arrive to Tar Town. And... prepare yourselves, everyone. This sequence... just watch it.
Looking for action, big boy?
Off-putting, but that's not what I meant.
Lizards and saurians, the Sharp Bang is proud to present Raquel and her million VCs.
Things haven't been so good for us lately.
Alright, the musical number. But that's still not the weirdest part.
Now I make plenty of time with other guys, but none of them, baby, have your club.
Hey, hairless.
When we're together, you make me see stars. It ain't
How'd you
quite
like to do the
so
vertical
it's
stop?
well, I dig it when you get primitive, darling.
I just love soft pink skin. Come here, sugar. Come here.
After some sexual harassment done for laughs, our gang were shocked to know their favorite heroes were no heroes. Rex and Tops are not what they remember from their cartoon, as they are a bunch of gambling slackers who don't care about the problems in their world.
You know, I'm really disappointed in you. The Rex I used to know would have leapt at the chance to get out of this dump and be a hero. But the truth is you only think of yourself.
Oh, so it's like discovering your favorite TV star was just an actor who acts nothing like the hero character he played on TV. How unfortunate. What's even more unfortunate is Timmy thinking it's the same continuity as his show.
Remember the time in episode 12 when the Rockies took over Primeval Park and they rousted old Steg? And you guys had to swing from those vines to save
Wait a minute, Rex. These guys are wacko.
Considering the way those leaf eaters in Dinosaur City feel about my father, they're not gonna back me in a fight against the Rockies. And I can't take all the Rockies myself.
So you're a coward too?
It's time for a diss battle!
Now, I heard all the tyrannosaurs were dead, but I guess the real truth is they all turned into fossil feces. Like this.
I know you Rockies don't have tail brains like Soars, but I always thought you had at least one brain.
I wouldn't be talking about brains if I was you, Sour. Because that was one stupid thing to say. You know something? I'm wondering how many people would still bet on a half-extinct Sour who's nothing but the cowardly offspring of a traitor.
Fight!
Square the job.
Take that, babe.
By the way, this bar fight takes around 3 whole minutes. Enjoy all the cartoony slapstick antics.
I dare you to do that again.
I don't believe it! I never saw such a bunch of sissies!
Anyway, this brawl was so good, Rex got over his daddy issues and had a change of heart and decided to be a hero this time.
You know she's right, Tops. This place is a dump.
Wait a minute, Rex. You can't be thinking you're going. I got a better idea. We could make a lot of money here in Tar Town.
Has it ever occurred to you there's more to life than just money?
Well, no. But what about the Rocky Patrols?
I know a secret way to Dinosaur City. Come on, guys.
Movie, do you really want me to reference Zelda that much? Tim goes to a little stroll with Rex.
What's that?
Skull Island.
Stop that remind me of better movies I could watch right now instead of this? Rex then explains his backstory.
Who is that?
My father. This place was once the center of Source City, where the people built monuments to their greatest leaders.
Traitor?
I was barely out of my egg when my father fought the battle that freed us from the Allosauruses. And the people of Source City presented him with the key to the city gates. But one Allosaurus survived, Mr. Big. He attacked again, and my father made a deal with him. He turned over Source City right in front of the city gates, and they left this key lying in the dirt.
And Timmy gets a great revelation.
You see, Timmy, this world's not so perfect.
Back to the plot. The Rockies search for our heroes.
Did you hear something?
Get up in the treehouse!
This is also when Mick finally decides to stop complaining. Ouch! I forgot that I'm not a cartoon character in this live-action cartoon! Jamie also makes her first kill.
Finish him! Fatality.
Anyway, during this fight, Timmy remembered he had the remote of the machine they used, and suddenly it turns to a Deus Ex Machina.
It's rewind time.
It's okay, Nick. Got the remote control.
Mr. Big sees this, somehow, and he got interested in that gizmo. Make your own conclusion.
Oh! No! Help! Let go of me, you ape! Put me down! You sorry, you Neanderthal!
Where's Timmy?
You mean you guys don't know where he is?
The Rockies must have gotten Timmy.
Well, I could hear him screaming for help.
That means they got the remote, too.
What's a remote?
What's a paladin?
Rex takes Mick and Jamie to get some disguises. And by disguises, I mean putting some fur on them, because it's a Stone Age and security cards are not a thing yet.
Hey, Mick. Is that Rempharinkus in your coat? Or are you just happy to see me?
Would you cut with the jokes? I'm roasting in here.
And it's not like we must stop a volcano from exploding, right? How many hours do you have left? They still need a distraction. And all the macho males here share a single thought.
Don't wait, guys. Excuse me, boys. I was looking for somebody who was supposed to be getting off. Now, boys. There's no need to fight. We can all party together. I don't like to wait.
Double kill.
Yes! Thundering.
You were supposed to lure him back so that we can knock him out.
Sorry, guys. I guess I didn't need the help.
Little Miss Muffet makes her first knockout.
Well, boys, we did it. Sexism is no more. Rex finds his father, and they amend after hearing the whole story.
How ironic. My father who's a traitor in a prison of his own making.
I know this will be hard for you to accept, Rex, but please hear me out. Big allied with the forces of the Rockies, and he had a potion that could bend anyone to his will.
You were drugged?
And forced to hand Star City over. The only thing that's kept me going all these years is thinking of you, Rex.
Father.
One plot thread ended. They then finally find Timmy, who is hanging by a thread.
Don't come any closer, you valueless little thing!
Rex, being the smart hero here, knows exactly what to do. Another drawn-out brawl.
Not this time.
Is It's time for a chick battle!
Not so fast, lady. Hand it over. No! I've got it now.
And this one's for my father.
Timmy then delivers the finishing blow.
Hey, Big!
You're off the air.
Good shot, kid!
Sure, we were all going at each other's throats, but we're all friends now, right? It's not like people stay prejudiced as part of their nature, right? Once the boss is gone, all problems are solved, right?
Guys, we got a problem here.
What's wrong?
Unfortunately, we still have 15 more minutes, and that meltdown is not solving itself. And they need that fuse to solve it. But they need it for the elevator. Which means someone needs to make a sacrifice.
You guys take the elevator now, and I'll fly the fuse down when you reach the bottom.
Team Stone Age also disbands while they're at it.
What are you doing with that?
Evolving! That's one giant leap for womankind.
Aw, and they were such a developed couple. Forty, of course, pulls a Dumbo and Dinosaur City was saved. But little did they know, Rex's father was doing his own business in Big's tower. Are they going to mention this anytime later? Nope, time to go home.
I'm gonna stay with you, Rex. I could be your scout, take care of stuff for you. I'm even pretty good in a fight now.
And Timmy still needs a big wake-up call.
Timmy, what about the people in our world who would miss you? Don't we count for anything? Or is it still just Timmy first?
You guys would actually miss me?
Of course you would. So would your parents. They love you, Timmy.
Come on, I want to be a part of something.
You are. You always have been. But you have to go back.
They use a Deus Ex Machina Gooper to open their portal home, and off they go. But Forey either wasn't paying attention, or the writers forgot they just had this discussion. He asked Timmy to stay with them.
Wait, Timmy! Don't go, please. What about all the fun we had? Don't you want to stick around for a while?
Timmy? Where is he?
I don't know. I thought he was right behind us.
I thought you didn't make it back through.
This, of course, was a bait and switch. And Timmy goes back home with the rest before his parents find out and ban him from their life forever.
Wait, so how was the conference?
Well, they didn't believe us. They thought it was a new way to make orange juice. So I'm afraid we have a lot of work to do before we send a human through.
Except Timmy was still an idiot and he told them anyway.
Dad, don't be mad, but I gotta show you the reddest thing. Come on, Dad, come on. What? You're not gonna make me see this. You're not gonna make me.
The end! And that's Adventures in Dinosaur City. Does it really deserve to be known as one of the worst dinosaur movies ever? Maybe? A little? Okay, to give this movie a little credit, it didn't go the usual route you often see in movies of this kind, where the plot is fictional characters, or characters that are usually from another realms coming to our world, and the comedy is about them not understanding our world, and our heroes trying to think how to bring them back where they belong. They could have saved all their budget on the dinosaur cartoons and have them come to the real world, but they chose to have it in its own world with its own sets. It's admirable. Sadly, the budget wasn't great in the first place, and it all ended up really cheap looking. Also, in hindsight, the concept of the kids traveling to a darker and grittier live-action version of their colorful cartoon hilariously protects the concept taking children's properties and making them unnecessarily dark and filled with adult jokes. And just to point this out, this movie came out 2 years before the Super Mario Bros. Movie, in case someone says this is a rip-off of that one. Part of me also wonders how it would look like if it switched to animation once they jumped dimensions. The animation we saw already looked cheap anyway, so it wouldn't hurt that much. The characters are flat. As I mentioned, Forey was the best character despite his lackluster puppeteering, just because he was the only one who gave a damn about what's going on in this world, while everyone else is sidetracked by something else. On the other end of the spectrum, Timmy is a character you just want to yell at his face and tell him to wake the hell up because his illusions are mind-boggling.
Oh, I'm sorry.
He doesn't care that he's in another dimension, nor that he's in a war zone, nor that he could be hunted or killed anytime soon for being a human, nor even the fact that a volcano is going to explode in less than a day. All what he cared about that he is living in the world of his favorite cartoon, meeting his favorite cartoon characters, and wishing to stay in this world with his favorite characters who weren't even like the characters he knew from the show anyway. He's like those stereotypical annoying fanboys who think the actor they just met was the character and annoy the hell out of him with all the pointless trivia they've memorized and inside jokes and references to prove how much they love the show.
It's just a TV show.
Also, he got a cartoon he's a big fan of. He loves dinosaurs. He got 2 great friends if they put up with him and love to hang out with him despite their age difference. And his parents are freaking scientists. Yet he dares to say, "My life is boring."
Hey, what's with the glacier face?
Mom and Dad's experiments sent us here. Maybe there's other worlds too. Maybe everything we make up is alive somewhere else. Like hobbits, sandworms,
Huh?
Captain Nemo. Why should I have to go back to Dolesville?
The others are just one-dimensional. Rex didn't care about saving Star City until he had a bar fight, and all of a sudden he cares. He reunites with his father only to forget about him without even asking him where he went after the destruction of Big's tower. Tops was just there, Jamie had little development and harassed by other male characters, and Mick... he stops complaining.
Yeah?
Well, you look different. And, you don't complain as much as you did before.
Mr. Big was a generic bad guy, which shouldn't be surprising knowing he's a cartoon villain. But the Rockies are by far the most entertaining characters in the entire movie. Every member of them was over the top and played their parts splendidly. Easily the ones you would remember the most from this movie and the closest thing to redeem it. The costumes, the puppets, Jim Henson's these are not. The movie is lucky it's not in HD because it needs all the darkness and blurriness to match the terrible quality here. The furry puppet is the worst as it talks like a sock puppet and looks like one when he's carried by another character. The quality of the suits is a bit better and they do have inner mechanism to control mouths and brows, but they're very limited and the eyes tend to be lazy and the skin texture's too smooth. Again, compare this quality to the Dinosaurs TV show and the difference is night and day between them. What was not expected is the suit actors being able to do some sick fighting moves with these suits on. Almost puts the Ninja Turtles to shame. Speaking of the Ninja Turtles, the poster gave us this little tagline. Long before there were turtles, the world was ruled by dinosaurs. Yep, just another dig at a more successful franchise as shown by other TMNT knockoffs at the time.
Oh, he's scaly, Dad. We laid him out like turtles.
The voice quality of some of the characters is not great either. I don't know if it's the quality of this copy, but sometimes characters sound like their microphones were too close to the voice actor's mouths.
Good. Take it away.
Great. I'll bring the marshmallows. It's not our problem, babe.
The music is not impressive or memorable either. With the exception of the cartoon Dinosaurs theme song, and that weird song number, and maybe the rap song of the ending credits, the music here is generic as hell. Bottom line, play the SNES game and forget about this movie. Happy 2nd anniversary, everyone!
Cartoon world of rock and stone, volcano blows, fortissimo, flying, swimming, dinosaur women, grinning at the Dino Boys, heads are spinning, stalactite, night flight, raising up the Fahrenheit, rhapsodizing, a caveman's battle plan, cutting it through it, the kick drum could do it, the beat is bumping, tails start stomping, clapping and flapping, rah, 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 give me claw.
Oh, and Timothy, don't watch cartoons all day, okay?
What's wrong with watching cartoons?